So we changed things up a little bit this year. Historically, we used what is called CVent. If anyone's familiar or has leveraged CVent from a registration perspective, we were using it the past couple of events. We used it for our congressional conference this year. We used CVent for P+P last year. It's a little bit more of a basic platform, so we upgraded our platform to allow for a better user experience this year. One of the things that everyone would have received or should have received if you have registered for the conference, you should have received an introductory email last night. That's going to have just the welcome information. It'll give you the link to the website in particular. It'll also give you your unique access code. So we locked it down so that we can make sure that the right people who actually registered and paid were participating. So we do have an access code that's individual to each of you. If you didn't receive the email, feel free to shoot me a note afterwards. If you didn't register, there's still time to register. So please make sure you do that if that's the case. I see some questions coming through, so I just want to make sure. Yep, thanks, Justy. You're the best. So with Performance Plus Purpose, we always start our virtual events out with our NAIFA virtual code of conduct. Again, it's there to protect not only you, it's there to protect the interest of everyone. If anyone starts to get a little bit lippy in the event itself, that gives us the right and the opportunity to say, hang on a second, we're all professionals, let's play nice. So this is the main screen most everyone will see when they first log in, is the code of conduct. It is simply a click to continue. That's basically accepting that you recognized it, you see it. From the code of conduct, it's actually going to take you into a personal profile. So it will take about 5 to 10 minutes to complete this. The profile is there for you to put as much information as you would like. There's some basic required information that we do request that goes into it, but it is again for the sole purpose of networking. When we're in a virtual environment, the more information we put out there, the better the networking experience will be, because it gives you an opportunity to meet like-minded people in a virtual platform. We have to be a little bit more mindful when in a virtual space, because it's not as organic as if I walked up to you, Mitch, and on the street and started talking to you. I have to look for you. I have to reach out to you. I have to communicate, network with you. So it's a little bit of a different experience, but there's a few required fields. So your name is obviously required. We do ask for some basic professional information, which is just title and your organization. This does not feed back into our platform, our association management system. This is simply information you put out there to say who you are, who is attending, who you are. We do ask that you select your time zone. What's nice about this platform is that it customizes it to your time zone. So if you are not Eastern time zone, like the rest of us or a lot of us right now, it gives you a chance to switch it so that you can see the timing for what's for your local area. So you can select display times in my time zone, and then you can actually select your individual time zone, or you can just leave it as display times in the event time zone, whatever makes more sense to you, what's more comfortable. But we do require that. The rest is just contact information as you see fit, if you want to put it in there. So if you want to put, if you've got a blog, congratulations. If you want to put your blog in there, your LinkedIn page itself. So it says handle, it is really your individual LinkedIn page. So when you go to your LinkedIn profile, copy the URL at the top, put it right in there. Same thing for Facebook, Twitter, if you have any of those that you want to display. It's a way, again, for people to connect with you outside of the virtual event too, in your website. So put as much information, as little information as you want. There's just a few fields that are required. When you click on save and continue, we give you the opportunity to put in a photo. There is a size limitation on this. So there's a minimum width of 400 pixels. So as much as we'd love to put that super high definition, amazing photo of ourselves in here, there's a pixel limitation, and you might get a little frustrated. It's not to discourage you to still put a picture in, because we really, really encourage that, but it's not required. We're not going to force you to do it. There, like I said, there's just a size limitation, so be aware of that. And then what I consider the fun part for me personally is that we give you the option to pick ribbons. We have virtual ribbons. We know we love our ribbons. You can pick from 2 professional ribbons. So these are your traditional NAIFA ribbons that we see at our events. If you're alumni, if you are a president, if you are a PAC donor, all of those are in there so that you can make those personal selections, who you are within NAIFA. So similar to what we would have done in person. Then we added some fun ribbons, and that was really more for my entertainment. But we added some fun ribbons in here so that you can select things like I'm an avid angler, I'm a coffee connoisseur, I'm a dog lover, you know, things like that, just to make it a little entertaining and fun for all of us to see who's who and how we do these things. As you can see, with it being less than a week out, I'm 3% human and 97% stress right now. So that's one of my personal ribbons. But from there, you can click on your networking options. So this is up to you. Again, if you'd like to share your profile with your attendees, you can certainly do that. If you'd like to share your favorites, and I'll point out what the favorites are in just a couple minutes, you can do that as well. And the favorites are going to be things that you select to make it your own adventure with this event. We also have an elevator pitch. This is when you share your profile, the elevator pitch is also displayed publicly. So I share all that with you to just let you know that if you want to share your profile, but be really snarky in the elevator pitch, people will see it. People will see it. And so I don't want anyone to be embarrassed by anything they put out there. But you can choose, it's not required. You can choose to put something in there just to tell a little bit more about why you're here, what you're excited about or not. We try to make it as easy as possible for you all. All right, so when all that is done, save and finish. It's going to take you first to your My Experience page itself. So this My Experience page, again, gets you right back to your profile if you want to make any changes. If you regretted what you just said on those 2 questions and you want to change it because people can see it, you can go right back in here to your profile. Or you can go into your schedule. And the schedule, when you say My Schedule, that is what you have personally chosen. That is what you want to participate in, that you're interested in. You're not beholden to it. It's just a very quick and easy place for you to find those courses, or not courses, find that actual breakout sessions or keynote or whatever else that you wanted to put into your schedule. And then the same thing with My Networking. If there's individuals that you're like, I want to get to know that person, or they had the same dog lover ribbon as me, I want to meet them, you know, get to know them. You can actually favorite attendees, and you can then go back and you can have individual conversations with them. You can send them a message. You can connect with them that way. It's great. Then we also have just some basic FAQs for everyone. So what time zone? Are there any networking events? What's coming up? So basic frequently asked questions are in this. And it gives you a chance to kind of go back and through that. So back into My Experience, if you're not sure if your system can actually withstand anything, you can do a quick system check. It tests the speed of your computer, and if you need any technical support, that's one of the areas that they'll most likely ask you to go do to see if there's any connectivity issues. But speaking of technical support, we actually have 2 different means of technical support. If it's attendee questions, if it's about the conference itself, if it's about a session information, if it's about membership, that's going to be our membership experience team. That's the 877 number that we're all loving and familiar with, and the info@NAFA.org. If it is, I'm having a technical problem and I can't figure this out with this platform, that is going to be the actual technical support with our platform provider. So they have hours 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., which is plenty of time since we go 12 to 3 minus the happy hours. Or you can submit a support ticket if it's not urgent, if it's not an urgent need. So just be aware that help is on the way, help is available to you if you run into any stickiness or any problems at all. So I'm going to jump up to the attendees. So this is, again, here's the fun part. Here's where you start to see people who have selected their ribbons. I'm going to pick on Eddie here for a minute because you can see what Eddie put as far as his responses to those 2 questions, who he is. He didn't put any fun ribbons on, unfortunately, but maybe in the future he will. But you can see that Eddie has logged in today. You can actually message him if you want to communicate directly with Eddie. So it's a great way. Again, you can make him a favorite, and that'll go up into your favorites. You can see the little stars on the right is how you favorite people. If you want to see, as I mentioned, the coffee connoisseurs out there, if you want to see who else selected those types of ribbons, you can see those members that are, or those attendees that have selected that. And again, if you'd like to connect with them individually, you can click on their profile, you can reach out and send them a message, and you can make network connections that way. So let me take you to the main home screen. I know we were kind of going back and forth with that. So after the My Experience, if you click on the home button, this is our main hub. This is the home page. This is where all the magic.
Press pound to continue.
Oh, there we go. I was like, not sure who that was. This is where all the magic happens. This is where you will have multiple points of entry to make it as easy as possible to get to the actual sessions themselves. So one thing that is different this year is that the majority of the program itself is being live streamed in this platform. So what I mean by that, you're not going to have to jump back and forth to different Zoom links or, do all of those different things like we've done in the past. This way, you can actually just go to the actual session in the schedule. And when you click on it, 5 minutes before it's supposed to kick off, a live stream link will come up and you can click on that and go directly into the live stream where they'll both be a discussion board for communicating, because we know we love to chat. We love to chat. The discussion board for that, but also a Q&A opportunity. So if you want to ask a question to any of the breakout room speakers, or if you want to throw a question in for any of our keynotes as well, we'll do our best to get those answered. But you have the opportunity to do that and certainly communicate with others. So I won't show you the video if you haven't seen it yet, but if you click on the Welcome to 2021 Performance Plus Purpose, there is a welcome message from our conference chair, Larry Holzberg, who's been chairing and kind of leading the charge on where we go with the event this year, which has been great. You can network with the attendees. So there's a left-hand navigation and again, the tile screens. The network with attendees also takes you to the attendees link here on the left. So again, very easy to see who's who and who's coming and make those connections. With the Meet Our Keynote Speakers, this is just to kind of highlight who is speaking for us this year. So we have an MC that's actually going to be our face. So that's Rob Foray. He's going to be our face throughout the entire conference. He's going to be kicking us off. He's going to be hyping it up. He's very fun. He's going to run our games. He's going to run some music for us. So we're super excited to have Rob as part of the program and just kind of leading the charge with that. He's also our Lily keynote, our Lily 7 keynote. So for any of you that did register for the Lily 7 special ticket event at the end of the conference, Rob is going to be presenting for us during that session. And then we have our 3 main keynote speakers, Dana Carino, Holly Hoffman, and Jason Hewlett. All of these are live. So they'll be interacting, they'll be fun, they'll be looking for questions. So it's a great opportunity, again, just to participate. So let me take you back to the home screen real quick. Then we also have the page with all of our sponsors. All of these are clickable links, but you can see who has been participating and who's sponsoring the event this year. And then we tried to, again, make it as easy as possible. So we even broke it down further from the main schedule, which is here, the full schedule on the left navigation. We've also broken it down by days. So if you want to just see what's on day 1, what's on day 2, what's on day 3, or even further from that, I just want to go by track. I want to see what the tracks are. So we have practice management, we have a technology track, we have advanced practices, and we have sales and prospecting. So our breakout sessions fall into those 4 buckets, just so that you're all aware. Our keynotes stay much more in the motivational leadership level. The breakouts are where we get into the nitty-gritty of the topics. And then last but not least, our happy hours and our special events. So we do have our IFAPAC happy hour that kicks things off. This is a members only event. So we do have, I think we have some non-members that are participating. They will not unfortunately be able to participate in this event unless they become members. That is locked down. The Yacht happy hour, put that away. The Yacht happy hour is actually open to all. So that is for anyone. We're going to have games, we'll have prizes. It'll be a lot of fun. It's a great way then to actually network with people. These are being hosted as Zoom meeting rooms. So like this meeting, you will actually be able to interact a little bit more and have a little bit more freedom of movement from that. So these are our few Zoom events that we do have. And then finally, our Lily 7 special workshop. Again, if you've not purchased a ticket to that, I would encourage you to as part of your registration process. It's going to be a great event. We have a great keynote speaker with Rob, and he's going to share a really great message that aligns well with our Lily group. I guess the last thing I really wanted to point out, so for our members, we do have our IFAPAC donors listed, and that's up until July 27th, all the donations and where they land and the donors. So if it's capital, if it's platinum, gold, silver, bronze, these are all listed out. We wanted to make sure we showed love to all of our IFAPAC donors and listed them individually. But the other cool feature that we have is an IFAPAC booth. That is a Zoom room. Let me be very clear about it. But it is a Zoom room that is being hosted by our PAC committee members and our staff. And that is there for anyone who has questions about their donation, who'd like to make more of a donation, who'd like to just, network and talk about things, or talk about some of the advocacy issues. That IFAPAC booth is there, similar to what it would have been in person. It is there in the virtual space so that you can engage and have some conversations with folks. And then I did want to point out one other thing. So, well, two other things, because it's always what else, Elena. So right now, what you're seeing on this home screen is not the full event. And that's on purpose, because we wanted to first give you all the experience to log in, because like I said, that profile setup takes 5 to 10 minutes. So don't wait until 11:55 before the event starts Eastern time, but wanted to get everyone familiarized with the platform, let you play around in it, let you kind of like touch, feel, get used to where things are located. But there are going to be, in addition to our breakout rooms, in addition to our keynotes, we have a whole series of on-demand videos that we're calling our NAFA Education Talks, or our NED Talks. We kind of stole that if you can't tell. So our NED Talks. We also have product demonstrations that we've received from several different sponsors. All of that is on-demand video footage that's going to be there. And then we have a musical challenge with Rob. So on a daily basis during the break times, you can actually jump into a Zoom room with Rob Foray, our MC, and you can do a musical challenge, and it will follow a theme each day. So we'll all test out our musical knowledge at that point in time. And then last but not least, when when our brains get so much information, like on this call, when our brains get so much information, it becomes overwhelming and it overloads us a little bit. So we purposefully have added some meditation moments in there. And again, they're pre-recorded on-demand videos. Yes, exactly, Artem, very Zen. They're Zen moments. They're there just to give you a brain break, is what I call it, just to kind of take a deep breath. You can participate in you can participate in them if you want, or you can do any of the product demos. You can do the NED Talks. You can do the musical challenge with Rob. Or you can take that break time and answer phone calls or emails or whatever you need to do in your own time. But we just wanted you all to know that these extra activities are there and they're available to you so that you can experience a more robust event than, since it's virtual, than you would be getting if you were in person. So those will all be tiles on here as well. They will come up, but they won't come up until 30 minutes before we kick off on Tuesday, purposefully. They won't come up until then. So you will also get a sneak peek of our 2022 location. We do have a welcome video that is going to be part of this as well. And our conference evaluation will kick off. You'll see the link post at that point as time as well, so that you can start evaluating the conference itself, start letting us know, giving us some feedback on overall. We can improve, we can't do this better if we don't get feedback. So I always put that out there is please, please, please be honest, be upfront, but be kind, because then we can improve what we do in the future and how we do it and make sure it's a great experience for all. How this will fall, let me just show you the full schedule real quick. So you will have our kickoff at noon, and we will have some hype up moment with Rob. He'll go over some early conversation. He'll go over some housekeeping notes. He'll get us excited and jazzed up for our keynote. And then we kick off into our keynote presentation each day. So this is a wash, rinse, repeat. It is the same schedule each day with different educational offerings. And then Rob will take us through right after the keynote how to select your experiential activities. So those are those 4 things I just talked about. The brain breaks is what I call them. So in this schedule is where you can also find them. You won't find them right now because I hid them until Tuesday next week, remember. But you'll be able to participate in the musical challenge with Rob. For those of you that purchased the VIP book signing, so that was again a ticketed item, then you'll actually be able to jump in a Zoom meeting with Dana Perino and have one-on-one conversation with her like this, and have an opportunity for her to sign and dedicate a book to you. If you participated in this in P+P last year, you're pretty familiar with the process and what it's going to look like. But for those of you who haven't, we have an amazing team that is, so Brendan and Artem and Jess, who's not on this call, understand the process fully. They have walked through it and they make it a really, really cool experience for you. Stop shaking your head, Artem. They make it a really cool experience for anyone who wants to engage with the keynote presenter. From there, you can also click on all the different breakout rooms themselves. Like I said, these are all tagged by tracks so that you can select them by track if you want to, but easy peasy. I know I'm going to want to go to that one. I may want to go to that one. You can select. You can jump in and out of rooms too. So if you see, I'm going to, our variable annuities a better choice, and I get into that and I'm like, nope, not for me. That's not it. You can come back out to this main page and go to any one of these other presentations at that moment. You're not locked in. So feel free to jump around if you'd like. The breakout room sessions are meant to be engaging as well. So there'll be content that is delivered, and there'll be lots of time at the end for Q&A to actually ask questions of the presenters. We'll have moderators that are available in every single room, hosting to take your questions, to ask them to the presenters as well, to make sure it stays very, very engaging. And like I said, so we have keynote, we have 25 minutes for experiential activities. We've got our breakout sessions. Then we give you a shorter amount of time, but still some time to do experiential activities, give you a little bit more of a break before we go into our closing comments. So I always encourage people, because the first question I get is, why on earth have closing comments in a virtual session? No one's going to go to it. No one's going to go. Well, you know what? There's prizes that we're giving away. You have to be present to win. So, haha, I win. So closing comments will set you up for wrapping up the day, kind of a recap of what we learned, what we did, what to expect for the happy hours those evenings, what to expect for the program and the next day itself. So just wanted to share that out there with the group to make sure that you are all aware that it's important to come back for the closing comments, because you can also win something. And then, as I mentioned before, those happy hours are on the main tile screen. So when you go back, I almost got lost in this. When you go back, you'll be able to access the happy hours. There's at the evening time, Eastern time, that they are designated for. And as long as you're a member and like to have fun, you can come to the IFPAC happy hour on the first day.